My good friend, the voice of the New York Yankees. I've known this man for a very long time, and I'm thrilled to have him, the host of the Michael Kay Show in New York City, and, of course, center stage on Yes, and the voice of the New York Yankees on TV on the Yes Network. Michael Kay. How are you, Michael?
I'm good, Rich. You got one thing wrong. That was the front page of the Post today.
Oh, my gosh. Are you serious? That was the front?
Yes. Yes.
Oh, no.
And you wonder why athletes don't like the media.
Wow. That's the front page? I thought that was the back. Oh, gosh. So is there any way that he redeems himself in any way, shape, or form, Michael? Or is it just a lost cause amongst fans of the Yankees and maybe the media in New York with A-Rod?
Well, I think it becomes an individual thing for everybody, whether they want to, forgive him. I mean, we're all not God, so we certainly don't have the right to forgive him. I don't think he could ever redeem himself. If he hits 40 home runs this year, then the people are going to think he's on the juice. And if he has a terrible year, they'll say, see, he was always on the juice. Now that he's not, he can't play. So I think he's just trying to play 3 more years of baseball because despite all of the cesspool that this has become, he really does love playing baseball. That's the bottom line. So I don't think he could ever get out from under what he did. But strangely, the thing that surprised me yesterday, Rich, they were far, far more cheers than boos. I'd say it was 80-20, 85-15. I mean, he was roundly cheered. And I thought it would be the complete opposite. I'm not sure what opening day at the stadium on April 6th will be. Maybe that'll be a referendum on how he does in spring training. But I think people are saying, okay, we know what you did. We know who you are. We know what you're about. Now play baseball. Let's see what you can do. So
what role do you think A-Rod is going to have? Integral, supplementary? What do you think it's going to be for the Yankees this year?
I think he's going to be a DH. He's already been told he's not going to be the third baseman. They give Chase Headley a lot of money to play that position, and Chase Headley's a better defender. So that's out. And according to how many at-bats he gets, it's going to be whether or not he can get around on a right-hander who throws, good fastballs inside, whether or not he can hit those pitches. If not, he'll be the DH against lefties, and that will mean maybe 250 at-bats, and Garrett Jones will be the DH against lefties, against right-handers. So what's going to be really interesting, if they start R.A. Dickey, the Blue Jays, on opening day, who happens to be right-handed but is a knuckleballer, would they start A-Rod? That would be very interesting to see what the Yankees do. I'm
on the phone with Michael Kay of the Yes Network, calling in from Yankee spring training in Tampa, joining me here on the Rich Eisen Show. What's it like not having Jeter around there? Is it strange?
It was weird. I was standing in the clubhouse yesterday about 8 in the morning. That's usually when he would be coming in, and he'd be holding a Starbucks coffee cup with the name Derek on it, as if they didn't know who he was when they were standing in the, And he would grab his sanitary socks out of a bin, and then he'd say something jokingly to one of his teammates. He'd go, get dressed, whole business. And that was missing yesterday. It was a little bit odd. And today, I'm a little surprised by this. On Mike Lupic's show on ESPN, Brian Cashman, the Yankee GM, says, I don't think we're ever going to name another captain. We're going to make Jeter the last captain of the Yankees.
Really?
Yeah.
That's surprising. I mean...
Yeah, I'm really surprised.
Because at some point, you'd have to hope there's some young buck that's going to come in and because let's be honest here, Michael, the reason why the Tory years were so successful is because we all remember Steinbrenner had to be suspended for a couple of years, and they built up the farm system finally and got the core 4, of which Jeter was part. And it just seems now there's tons of expensive free agents like McCann, Beltran. They've re-signed Teixeira. A-Rod's still there with the $61 million left on his contract. At some point, they have to find some more core players at the farm level, Michael.
You would think so, and maybe Brian's saying this because if you look at this team, there really is no candidate to be a captain. It is probably a homegrown guy who has to be a captain, but I think McCann will probably assume a lot of the leadership role. But for Cashman to say that, we think that Jeter's going to be the last captain. I mean, if they can name a captain after Lou Gehrig, it took a long time, or after Thurman Munson and after, Don Mattingly, I think they could find somebody to be captain after Derek Jeter. I just don't think it's going to be right away.
I'm on the phone with Michael Kay of the Yes Network here on the Rich Eisen Show. So how is the replay challenge is going to work this year, Michael? Because the rule is, from what I understand, that the managers can't come out, argue for a minute and a half while somebody checks the replay upstairs and gives them a thumbs up or thumbs down, come back to the dugout. They can't do that anymore, right?
No, they can't do that, but it's such a nebulous ruling because there's still going to be somebody that checks the replay. So how long are the umpires going to hold up? Other than the farce of the manager walking out slowly and turning around, there's still going to be a little bit of a delay until somebody could check the replay. And I thought that I had the perfect solution, Rich, because you know I always do.
Yes, you do.
Because I feel that what the challenge should be, it should be in real time. If you think the guy was out and the umpire called him safe, challenge immediately before anybody can look at any electronic stuff. The umpire didn't look at anything electronic. So if you think it was wrong, you challenge right away. And that adds some gamesmanship to it, and whether or not you have a sharp eye and whether you can trust your players who are arguing about it, I think that's what they should do, and eventually they should get to that point. But now you're just eliminating the manager's walk, but you're not really necessarily eliminating the delay before you challenge.
So does this mean that there can be no on-field arguing anymore? Or if you come out to on-field argue, you have forfeited your right to challenge via replay?
I think you can argue. I mean, let's say you challenged the replay earlier and it was wrong and you lost your challenge. Well, you could come out and kick up a storm and get angry at the umpire, but it's not really going to do anything. Because when they walked out for the challenge last year, Rich, there were no arguments. It was just, how's the weather? Your daughter doing okay? Is that your wife in the stands? No, it's your girlfriend. I'm sorry. That was the sort of stuff that was said. So there was really no Earl Weaver, Billy Martin stuff going on.
Well, I know in football you have up until the next snap to challenge a play, and that's why sometimes teams run and quickly snap the football. Is it the next pitch in baseball?
It's, whenever the pitcher gets on the rubber. So if you're arguing a defensive call, all the pitcher has to do is sit down, kneel down behind the mound and tie his shoe. So once he gets his foot on the rubber to get a sign, then that's it. You can't challenge anymore.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know how you do that. And I know that there's talk of a pitch clock at some point. What are you hearing about that, Michael? Is that how could that ever be put into play? I don't understand how that would work to speed the game up.
Well, the only way that would work, you could never have a pitch clock, obviously, with somebody on base, because then you're dealing with the integrity of the game throwing over. You wouldn't be able to do that. It would only be when there's no one on base. And they tried to get it through, but everything that is changed in the rules in baseball has to be collectively bargained. And the baseball union wasn't quite ready to rush its pitchers. So what they did was they used it in the Arizona Fall League, and they're also instituting it in the minors where it's not collectively bargained. So they're going to try to get a younger generation of pitchers ready to pitch in 15 seconds. I think that would be the length that they want. I think what's happening now, yesterday's game against the Phillies, in the first inning, Ryan Howard stepped out and then realized the new rule, scurried back in like he was 11 years old and got caught stealing something. So that's going to be silly. They're going to have all of April, and then it's a $500 fine. And as David Ortiz said, I don't think you could reteach these guys. They should be able to do it, but Ortiz made a good point. A lot of us aren't stepping out to style. We're stepping out to think what the next pitch is going to be. Well, I guess with these rules, don't overthink the game.
Michael Kay joining me here. A couple more questions for you. Who do you think's the favorite to win the World Series this year? Who do you like?
Oh,
right now,
I can't even figure out the American League East. It's so difficult. I don't think the Giants will repeat. I don't think the Royals are going to repeat. The best pitching staff right now would have to be the Nationals. So since pitching wins, I'd give it to the Nationals, but things could go along there, too.
All right, Michael. Have you heard about this churro dog at Chase Field that the Diamondbacks have thrown out there? Have you heard about this?
No, what is this?
It's a dessert. It looks like a hot dog, but instead of a hot dog, it's a churro in between two pieces of what looks like an eclair, stuffed with ice cream and caramel and all sorts of nastiness.
Wow.
Yeah. I know you've dropped some.
That would put my Crestor to good use.
Yeah, no, now you've, listen, I've known you for, how long have I known you? Mid-90s, right?
Yeah.
For a long time.
Over 20 years.
Yes. Now, I know you've got a lovely wife. You're now a father. You've evolved since I've met you,
yes.
Michael.
Well, slightly.
Well, that's true, slightly. That's why I'm asking you this. One of the interesting aspects, I'm talking to my two Chris's here at my command center. Do you know, Michael Kay, from back in the day, never had ketchup or a condiment of any sort, correct, Michael? Of any sort your entire life? Is that true?
Of any, and it still holds true to this day.
Now,
this
is a purposeful journey you've gone on, yes?
True?
Very purposeful. I just don't like it. It makes me puke.
So you've never, like, put fries with ketchup? You've never had ketchup on a burger or mustard on a hot dog or mayonnaise on anything?
I was the little weak, weird kid that when the family would go to McDonald's would have to stand to the side because they had to make the hamburger special, which to this day still makes me prefer Burger King, because Burger King, you don't have to wait like you're a freak. They make each burger the way you want.
Okay. It scars you, that experience.
Wow.
From even today, correct, Michael? You sound scarred. little bit.
Listen, I don't need one person to help me. As Seinfeld said, I need to go to Vienna and have 24-hour care. And the sad part is my daughter is now getting the same peculiar eating habits as me. And my wife is great. She's a foodie.
Yeah.
But Callie seems to be, it's chicken nuggets and mozzarella cheese, and that's about it. So
where does hot sauce fall on your list? Is hot sauce considered a condiment, or because?
That's a great question, and I can see why you work with Rich now, because I do have buffalo wings.
Okay.
So if hot sauce is in fact a condiment, then I guess I do eat that condiment.
Okay.
Do you dip the buffalo wings in ranch or blue cheese?
Never. Why would you ruin it?
There you go.
Okay.
You know what I've always wondered, too? Like, people that dip buffalo wings in that stuff or dip lobster in butter, well, then you obviously don't really like the taste of the food you're eating. Because you could dip oak tag in butter, and it would taste the same way as the lobster would.
Oak tag. I haven't heard that since 5th grade, Mike.
I don't even know what oak tag is.
Me neither.
Oh, gosh. That's a New York. That's a New York public school staple. Oak tag paper. No doubt. Michael, you are the best. Say hi to everybody, okay?
I will do that. Thank you, Rich. Have a great show.
And as you know, I have you on every day in the house. Yankee baseball's on in my house every day for my kids to feast on. My oldest knows about who's on the Joe Girardi show even. That's how.
Isn't it amazing that we live in a time that you could live out in California and raise Yankee fans and they could watch every game?
Well, I'm doing my best. I got Suze is a Patriot, Red Sox, the whole bit. I'm up against it, Michael. I'm up against it.
You can win, though. You can win.
I hope so. Thanks, Michael. You take care, bud.
Bye, guys.
You got it. That's Michael K. At Real Michael K.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern. On Audience.